My name is Amy Fernair, and I am a Beachbody coach. I wanted to just hop on here today and sort of spend some time with you talking about my story and how I got involved with this community. So, I'm going to take you back a year ago. I was 27 at the time, and I had just been living with my now fiance for about 6 months at this point. I am a full-time nurse, so I had just gotten a new job that year. I got myself off the day-night rotating schedule, moved back this way towards home, and so I was working this Monday through Friday job, but I was working a lot of hours, living with my new boyfriend, and I was seeing myself in this new phase of life, and I was starting to realize that there were things that I needed to address about myself in order for us to proceed forward and be successful and be happy. I have always dealt with anxiety, some levels of anxiety and depression. I have had, eating disorders in the past. I've always struggled with my self-confidence and body image, and I saw the worst of that come to a head the year prior to me joining this community. Got out of a very bad relationship, moved home, got the new job, and started making changes in my life to make myself and my self-care and my wellness more of a priority, learning how to better take care of myself. But when I got myself back into a new relationship, I found myself in love with the man that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I started to see how those things about me that I was recognizing, but I hadn't quite dealt with, were starting to bubble up and were starting to cause problems and affect this new life that I was trying to create. So I knew I needed to make a change, and I knew I needed to find some sort of a daily routine for myself that would help me establish a work-life balance, that would help outlet my stress and anxiety, and that would help give me sort of the support and community that I was craving and needed so badly. So I started researching. I was all over Instagram looking for inspiration, and I came across this BBG community. I did that starting January. I did the 12-week challenge. I was, enthralled with the fact that it was like this big community of women empowering women, screw the scale. I loved all those taglines, things that I truly was struggling and craving. So I've always been obsessed with the number on the scale, and that definitely always played a role in my lack of self-confidence growing up. So I did that 12-week challenge, and in the midst of it, I felt great. I loved that I could do it at home. I loved the freedom of being able to work out at home. I've never been a gym person. Hated the idea of having to go to a gym before or after work, delaying my time of getting home and delaying, keeping me away from my family. I loved that flexibility and freedom of it. However, I still felt like I was still isolated. Like I didn't have the one-on-one connection that I was craving. I didn't have the sense of community that I was hoping for. And I didn't really know what I was doing wrong nutritionally. I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see. And so I just felt still really stuck with my wellness journey. And so it kind of set me back a little bit. I sort of fell back into some old routines. It kind of hurt my confidence a little, and I started just running again come springtime, because that's what I've known. I've always been a runner. I've always been a cardio queen. And so I just sort of fell back into some old habits. So it was at that point that I was sharing my journey on Instagram that I was reached out to by my coach, and she told me about this community. She told me that there was this community of women, and there was these things called challenge groups. There was these workouts that, I could do at home, and I was like, what? And totally thrown off guard. I had no idea that this whole community even existed. I knew about Insanity and I knew about T25, but I'd heard of Shakeology, but I had no idea that all these things had to do with each other and that there was anything like coaching. And so I at first told her no. I was intrigued, but I also, my old instinct of judge and like skepticism held me back from saying yes, because I was totally intimidated by the idea that this is something I could fail at. I could join this and not succeed or not see the results, and that's initially was my reaction, that I didn't want to fail. But then I was also so intrigued by the idea of the Shakeology. I felt like maybe that could be the answer to my problems. That maybe I didn't want to join her challenge group, but then maybe if I incorporated Shakeology into my routine, that it would help me see the results that I was hoping for. So she explained to me about this thing called Challenge Pack and how it was going to be, the most beneficial way for me to get my Shakeology and to get involved, that it would include the workouts, and then I'd be able to join a challenge group if I wanted. So I can't really explain like how it totally changed my mind, other than the fact that I just remember getting that email and just deciding to just go for it. I felt like I had nothing to lose, despite my doubt and my initial doubt. I felt like I'm kind of stuck here. I kind of am at rock bottom again, and I really want to change. And worst comes to worst, I lose out of $200. And at the time, to me, it felt like it was that was worth the risk in order to possibly feel better. So I joined, and I completely fell in love with this community. I fell in love with the challenge group community. I fell in love with the fact that I had girls that I was meeting that were also trying to work on their health and fitness, that were people I could connect with daily and talk to and get advice from, that I was, had all these resources at my, fingertips now, that I had, meal plans that completely opened my eyes to what I was doing wrong with my eating, and, superfoods that completely transformed my health and have kept me, free from illness for a year now, giving me energy and helped me, just in so many ways, and helped me see results that I have never seen before. These workouts that I get to do at home, and that I have variety, that there isn't just one, size fits all or anything like that. It's not just one program. There's like thousands of workouts, and there's constantly new ones coming out. So I feel constantly engaged and constantly inspired to step out of my comfort zone. And it's because of all these positive changes that I, initially experienced in those first 30 days and then beyond that I fell in love with the coaching opportunity. I knew that I, as a nurse and someone who loves caring for others and wants that to always be a part of what I do, for a living, that this could be a way for me to change my future, to give myself more freedom, to be able to step away from the hospital and not work as much, to be able to make an income from home, but doing so by doing something I'm passionate about, and that's something that I love, and that is to help other women, to make them feel the best about themselves, to start from the core, to, help prevent, illness and disease and people from falling deeper into their hole of depression and self-sabotaging like I was, because there is a way out, and that was something that I experienced. And that is something that I'm very passionate about, like, paying forward to other women. So that was me a year ago. A year ago today, I am more confident. I am the healthiest I've ever been. I feel the best I've ever been. I am 5 months out from my wedding, and I feel like I am going to feel the best I've ever felt come my wedding, because I have never felt this secure in who I am. And I have never, I have this great community of women. I have this team that I am building of other women that are also passionate like I am. And I just love sharing with other people. And I love that I get to wake up and do this every day. It's honestly my favorite part about my whole day is when I get to do and work my coaching business. I still work full time as a nurse. I, work 40 plus hours a week between my shifts and call. And, but I am excited and know that someday that this is going to be able to bring me home from the hospital, and I'm going to be able to build my family and be a present mom and be a better wife. It's already strengthened my relationship with my fiance. We have bonded over our mutual, hopes and aspirations and dreams for our lives, and we have refocused ourselves on our health and fitness, and it's just honestly brought us so much closer. And I just can't tell you how many ways that it's changed me. So that is a little bit about my story in a nutshell. There's obviously, we could talk for hours about it. But if you have any questions or anything, please, drop a comment below or reach out to me and send me a message. I would love to talk to you further about it. But honestly, there's not much, more that I can say that honestly then this has changed my life in all good ways. So I hope you all have a good day.